Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. We continue learning Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, and we're in chapter 5, Mishna 16, where it says that there are 4 types of donors to charity. One who wishes to give himself but wants others not to give. He begrudges others. Then there's the second one that says that others should give but that he should not give. He begrudges himself. Then the third one is that he should give and that others should give is a saintly person. And then the fourth one is that he should not give and that others should not give is wicked. So Rabbi Twersky, Abraham Twersky, in his book, The Visions of Our Fathers, has always a very good interpretation of these Mishnas. And he says that there's an obvious question that it arises itself in this Mishnah, which refers to 4 types of donors. But the question is, in between these 4 types of donors, there's 2 of them that it says that don't give. There's one that doesn't want to give and wants other people to give, and then there's one that doesn't want to give and doesn't want other people to give. So why does the Mishnah call them donors if there's 2 of them that it says that they're not giving? So Rabbi Moshe Aleshkar gives a good explanation about this, and he says that actually all 4 categories are donors. This is people who are donors. They give tzedakah. It's not that they don't give, but where they're lacking is in the attitude or the way in which they give their tzedakah. So he says that the first type, the first donor, is one who prefers that no one else should give. This is a person that is very selfish. Is a person that doesn't want anybody else to earn points with Hashem. He wants to have it all for himself, and this is why he discourages other people to give. And he's a big donor in the shul, the one that covers for everything. And at the end, then there's nothing else to give. So this is not a good attitude towards giving, because yes, you give whatever you can give. It's very laudable, but also you have to allow other people to give too. So then we have the second one, which says there's one that others should give, but that he should not give, and he begrudges himself. So this type may also refer to a person who donates, but his donation may cause others to withhold. So this is a person that does give, but the way in which he gives, he doesn't let other people give. So I remember when I came to live to America more than 20 years ago, young girl, I enrolled as a volunteer in an organization called the WITZO, which is Women's International Zionist Organization. I used to work for WITZO in Colombia, and my mother used to be a WITZO woman, so the normal thing to do was, once I came to Florida, I became part of the WITZO family in Florida. And I learned a lot about tzedakah by working with them. And I remember when they do their gala event, which is coming up next week, and they do any fundraising, usually the biggest donor gives the pledge, and it starts from there, and they do it. They say it out loud, and I was very like, this is strange. Like, they taught me that when you give tzedakah, you do it quietly, you do it with no fanfara, you want to be modest about it, you don't want everybody knowing what you're giving, you don't want to do it loudly. And I asked, like, why do you do this? This is so strange. Like, it's weird to hear this person give this person gave that. And one of the persons there, she taught me that she learned from Sammy Roars, from Mr. Sammy Roar, may his memory be of blessing, that she learned from him that yes, when you're giving tzedakah on a personal level to a person, you do it quietly. You don't want them to know you're giving. Maybe it's better for you not to know who you're giving to. It's a higher level of tzedakah. But when you're giving in a dinner, when you're giving in a big fundraising, it is appropriate to announce the donations of the people and announce the big donations in a big way, because this encourages other people to also give. So if they see that Mr. A comes and he gives a check of $100,000, his friend that is sitting next to him, and he's also a wealthy person and he also can give a big amount of money, he's gonna be encouraged to give more. And if a person can't give $100,000 but he can give $1,000, he's gonna say, you know, if this wealthy person is giving that and I can give $1,000, then he's gonna be encouraged to give the $1,000. And it's something that it just propels and it encourages people to give and give and give. Everybody gives to their capacity. But then this person that it says that others should give but that he should not give, what it's talking about is the attitude is that if Mr. A could have given $100,000 and he decides to give $1,000, then it lowers the precedent for everybody else. So his friend that's sitting next to him, he says, okay, I'll give 500, and then another person will say, I'll give 100, and then another will say, okay, I give $5. You know, it lowers the standards of what people could have given. And this is what this Mishnah is saying. And then we have that he should give and that others should give is saintly. This is a person that encourages other people to give. He gives, he wants everybody to give. We know this is the biggest way of giving. And we see that the one that the others, let's go back to that the others should give but that he should not give. I forgot to say this and it's important. It reminds me of the story of the building of the Mishkan, in which Hashem asked the people to give to whatever their heart was willing to give. And what happened was that the princes, the 12 princes of each tribe, that were the wealthiest people of the people of Israel, they decided to hold back and let everybody give first. They said, let's let everybody give and we'll see what is missing, we'll give it at the end. For sure, it's going to be a lot of things. What happened was the people were wealthy. They came out with a lot of wealth from Egypt, and they were willing to give. They were so happy to build that Mishkan that everybody gave exceedingly. So when the time came to see what was missing, in reality, the only thing that was missing was the gemstones of the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. And this was the only thing that these princes, the 12 princes, could give one gemstone each for this breastplate when they could have given much more. So then we see the fourth category, which is the saddest one, which says that he should not give and that others should not give too. This is a wicked person. And we see that this one, the attitude is when a person gives grudgingly, when a person doesn't give with a full heart, when a person gives like, okay, I have to give, I have to do it. So the recipient or project, he feels that what he's giving to is undeserving. So this disparaging attitude discourages others from donating. So giving tzedakah should not be considered an obligation. We should not see it like we're obliged to give tzedakah. Obviously, it's a commandment of the Torah, and we are obliged to give tzedakah. We have to give at least 10%, and maximum, I think it's 25% of our earnings, according to our capacity. But what we have to see is that we should not look at it like an obligation. We should see it like a privilege. Hashem is giving us a privilege. This is a privilege, and as we see in this Mishnah, it's not only the act of giving that it's important, but it's the attitude with which we give. It's so important that we give with an open hand, with a smile in our face, with a kind word, that we give lovingly, that we feel blessed with our blessings and we want to share them with others. And this is the way in which we should give tzedakah. So there's a story, and really this is a very high level tzedakah, but we should all learn from the tzaddikim. We should try to emulate their ways. And it says of the tzaddik of Sans that he was renowned for the way in which he gave tzedakah, and oftenly he would pawn his kiddush cup to get money to give to the needy. He would even give away his stuff to be able to put money up and give to people who need it. So shortly before sunset on the eve of Sukkot, he sent a messenger to a wealthy citizen in the community to borrow a large sum of money. He needed money. And the man provided the request fund but wondered. He gave him the money, but he was wondering. What could the rabbi be doing with this money right now? Who is he going to give money right before Sukkot? Like, nobody can spend money right now. There's nothing open. There's no stores open. Like, why would he need this money now? So he said he was curious. He followed the messenger who delivered the money to a person for whom he knew that Tzaddik had already provided money with. So this money was for that person that he had already given money to for the essentials of the festival. And he asked the tzaddik why he gave him additional money. Why do you give him extra if he's already covered for the holiday? So the tzaddik explained, look what a high thinking person. The Torah states that one should celebrate the festival with food and drink, and that one should rejoice. True, he has enough money for food and drink for the festival, but he cannot rejoice because he's gonna be so worried that he has to pay all these debts after the festival that he's not gonna be able to rejoice in the festival, thinking about the debts that he has to pay, what he owes after the festival. So therefore I gave him money so close to sundown. He gave it to him right before the holiday, so he would not spend it, he would put it away. And the moment that the festival ended, he would have the money available for him to go and pay his debts. And in this way, this man could enjoy the festival, and he could rejoice in it, and he could have oneg, pleasure from it, and he would not be worried with providing how he was going to provide the money after the festival to go and pay what he owed. So the anecdote indicates the importance of the thoughtfulness and consideration that should go into the mitzvah of tzedakah. Remember, my friends, this is a privilege. Money is round. What goes around comes around. It's not something that we have to keep for ourselves and put it in the drawer and lock it down for eternity and count every dollar we have, and we hold it thinking about our great-grandchildren's education. No, money is something that has to flow. It comes in, it goes out. If you're so attached to it, the flow is not there. The more you give, the more you get. So remember, live a little higher. Thank you.